So I was on Amazon looking up new books I could read on my spare time until I came across Geoff Colvin's Talon's Overrated novel on the site, and as soon as I saw its title, I immediately grabbed my credit card and bought it and read it. And I'm very glad I did, because this book is very much worth the read. This book talks about the idea of talent and what really separates world-class performers from regular average Joes like us in this world. In the beginning chapter, the author explains how a God-given gift is one in a million thing. You either have it or you don't. If you don't, and of course most of us don't, then you should just forget about ever coming close to greatness. But as I kept reading, the author debunks these reasonings with his own findings of talent or innate abilities in this world. He goes on to explain that targeted innate abilities or God-given gifts are pure fiction and not real at all, and that nobody's naturally great when they first start something. So if you hear somebody say that they are naturally good at swimming or dancing or acting or anything like that, then they're lying, because nobody is naturally great when they first start something. And what really separates people that are from great from the people that are from the rest is nothing but deliberate practice. That's it. That's the end of the video. Actually, no, I'm lying. There's actually a lot more to it. Great performance in the author's opinion is becoming much more valuable to attain right now, and that everything that we do now is becoming better and better and better as we evolve in certain fields, and that great performance in all of us is within us far more than we have ever expected. Great performance is relevant in terms of business, sports, and many other walks of life. And companies like Google and Microsoft don't just hire people because of their talent, or they are only successful based off their products. They hire people based off of their human ability, with Bill Gates even stating that if he took the 20 smartest people out of Microsoft, it would be an insignificant company. The author relates great performance to sports as well, because back then a double somersault in the Olympics in 1924 was deemed too dangerous and shouldn't be performed. But in modern times, it could be too boring to watch. Ever since the ancient days, people viewed those who were exceptionally great at something as more unique. The gods blessed them with an ability we could never dream of attaining. And it's this type of mentality that whenever we confront this during our hobbies, sports, business, or any other walks of life, we give up and refuse to compete and follow our dreams because we are not as blessed as others. And that mentality is what inspired this video. Talent is overrated. In my opinion, talent won't matter in the long run unless you 1. Polish your abilities. Yes, you may have an advantage of playing chess, and you may have learned new basic tactics and strategies, and you probably beat a couple local people who weren't really that good on some matches. But if you rely strictly on your talent, or so-called talent, and play only casually when you feel like it, then your so-called talent will definitely become irrelevant and won't take you far if you decide to go pro. Now, on the second chapter of the book, the author tells a story about a group of researchers who traveled to England to look for musical talent. And it was musical talent because a lot of talented people generally reside in music. And the researchers looked into 257 young kids from a music school and grouped them to 5 groups from the elite to the below average. And they also calculated the amount of average hours that the elite kids practice. The researchers found out that the kids from the elite group averaged about 2 hours more of practice than the kids who only averaged about 15 minutes a day practicing. To reach a grade level higher in the school, you needed at least 1,200 hours of practice, and the kids who were seen as more elite were not just kids who obviously had an intense devotion to music and were pretty good in the beginning. They just practiced more, and that is what made them become infinitely better and better and better. This video is sort of a warning drawn towards the individuals who deem themselves too talented to continue improving their skills or just become better as an overall player, person, businessman, whatever. And this video is also drawn towards encouragement to the people who deem themselves as not capable enough and have given up on their dreams entirely because they believe that their self-worth or their talent level is just far below what they ever want to do in life. Number 2, your talent won't be there to save you. Let's say, for example, you have a singing competition, right, at your school, and in preparation you don't take any vocal lessons, you don't have proper instruction, proper training, and the only thing that you base your talent based off of is because you remember that you sounded good singing Halo by Beyonce in front of your mirror when you were like 7 years old. And obviously things have changed. People's voices change and get deeper with time, and when you are booed off stage for your out of tune voice that has not been properly trained for years, you'll be left regretting not taking up any classes to get better at the craft of singing. You'll be left lost of self-confidence in yourself and your abilities. The corny saying that I hate saying, and it's corny and it's cliche, but it's true, is that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's corny, it's cheesy, but it's honestly true. The author even says this in the book. We can all think of examples of people who seem to be highly talented, but when researchers have looked at large numbers of high achievers, at least in certain fields, most of the people who became extremely good in their field did not show early evidence of gifts. Similar findings have turned up in studies of musicians, tennis players, artists, swimmers, and mathematicians. Of course, such findings do not prove talent doesn't exist, but they suggest an intriguing possibility that if it does, it may be irrelevant. The author then brings up two geniuses who are seen as innate gifts in their fields: Tiger Woods and Mozart. Mozart has been undeniably seen throughout history as the ultimate genius. A God-given talent, once in a generation, in a blue moon, rare talent. God who lives on earth can't compare him to no other being in this world who is also touched by the gods. People tend to forget that Mozart wasn't really all that good in the beginning. A lot of his earlier works were copies in the styles of Bach, who was one of his main influences, and his father was an expert teacher who taught Mozart from a very young age, and before anybody saw Mozart's work, he revised and corrected them before anybody could see them, just in case anybody thought that Mozart wasn't talented. Also, the myth of Mozart having whole symphonies written in his head perfectly and then jotting them down on paper is not real at all. In surviving manuscripts, it shows that Mozart has been constantly rewriting, revising, and scratching on his notes for years, and constantly put those scratches and pieces of paper for months and even years and just totally discarding them. Mozart's first masterpiece, Piano Concerto No. 9, was completed when he was only 21 years old, which is still a very young age for sure, but you have to remember that Mozart went through 18 years of hard, rigorous, and extremely expert training from his father. He was never this godly sent being from the gods that everything he touched since the age of 5 turned into gold. And the same goes for Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods was born, he knew nothing else but golf from his father, who was a certified golf addict and wanted to teach his son golf as soon as possible. His father gave him his first club, taught him techniques in his garage before he was even 3 years old, and brought him out at the course playing and practicing regularly for years and years. This isn't meant to dismiss the greatness of Tiger Woods and Mozart at all. These people are great. I still love them. They're still exceptional beings. It's just to show people that are watching this viewer, the person that you're watching this video, it goes to show that these people were regular people that obviously had an intense desire for whatever field they were in. They just put in the work from literally they were born and put in the work every single day in order to get better and better and better. You could do the same thing as well. Now, with that out of the way, what should you instead be focusing on to become better? If you remember me saying earlier on in the video, I brought up a term called deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is a term coined by Anders Ericsson, who studied this since the early 90s, 30 years later on. And it's a term based off of a certain type of practice that is more purposeful and systematic. Deliberate practice focal point is focused attention, and it wants to design you to improve your performance and maximize your potential. Deliberate practice is not a certain type of practice where you just perform the same act over and over and over again mindlessly. It's a practice designed to help you become better. You have to walk into the practice session with a certain goal, how to achieve it, and why you want to achieve it. You can't just walk up to a piano and expect to be better just because you played a bunch of random notes. That's not the type of practice that I'm talking about. Now, of course, if you know deliberate practice, you know that it's not enjoyable. It's highly demanding and mentally exhausting. The highest you can go possibly is about 4 to 5 hours of intense focused concentration, no distraction, only focusing on one task, and that's a lot mentally. I also forgot to mention that it's not that fun at all if you can think about it. You are forced to go into a practice session where you focus on not just on what you're good at, you're focused on what you're not good at, and that's very painful and difficult after consistent sessions of failure over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, where it's not just failure, and more pain, and more difficult. Any of the greats that you admire has definitely been involved in deliberate practice in their lives, and that is what I believe separated them from the rest. The author even says this about deliberate practice: if the activities that led to greatness were easy and fun, then everyone would do them, and they would not distinguish the best from the rest. It means that most people won't do it, so your willingness to do it will distinguish you all the more. Smarts, intelligence, or a high IQ I said Haikyuu. I love Haikyuu, the anime. IQ doesn't have anything to do with this as well, because many people with the lowest IQs tend to become major high CEOs in the future in companies. So IQ, smarts, intelligence doesn't matter at all. One of the last things I want to say is that being ambitious or hardworking is not an inherent trait, it's a behavior. Again, this video isn't meant to devalue the people who are obviously worked hard to where they're at and are seen as more talented. This video is meant to inspire the people to follow their dreams and to not let the idea of talent or not being talented stop you from chasing and following your dreams in this lifetime. That's it. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching from beginning to end. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I upload every Friday at 12 p.m. So if you want to still hit the notification bell, that would be very much appreciated. And share it amongst your friends and family. I hope this video inspires and even inspires you to go out and chase your own dreams and your goals. And yeah, this was Mark Arroyo. Farewell.